Hello, fans, and welcome to this week's edition of the Towson Women's Basketball Report. I'm your host, Ben Rosebaum. The Tigers kicking things off in CAA play in style with a win over Campbell. As always, joined by the head coach of the Tigers, Laura Harper. And, Coach, welcome back, and it must feel pretty good to start out with a win in conference play.
For sure. You know, I say a lot of times you're only as good as the last game, so we're really good. I'm proud of our team, and we're growing, defensively specifically.
And Joe Matthews and I talking after we went off air, and we said, that wasn't the prettiest win, but that was a great win for that team. It was the team picked each other up. They played hard against a really good defensive team in Campbell. I mean, it just felt like, even though maybe shots weren't falling for everyone was doing the little things they had to do to keep Towson in the game, take the lead, and then never give it back.
Yeah, in conference play now, people know there's no surprises. People are able to scout you. Campbell is by far one of the best defensive teams in the conference, so it was good to start off on a positive note.
India Johnson continues her stellar play, 19 points for her, 100 threes now in the career as well for India. She has taken to that role of coming off the bench and being the scorer. Just talk about her as a senior and the leadership and the development we've seen from day one with India to now.
I think, again, anytime you can say you have a 4-year player, it says a lot about the person and their belief in the system. So seeing her grow as a point guard, as a two guard, of whatever we need her to be, it's just so fun to coach her.
And take us through the mindset for you as a coach saying, hey, I'm going to take India out of the starting lineup and I want her to come off the bench. What went into that decision? What was the thinking behind that?
I know everyone's probably like, why did you do that? Or was there some big thought process? And honestly, it was more rotational than anything of just, it's hard to prepare when you bring one of, if not your best players off the bench. And, I think for other teams and scouting opponents, I just thought, let's just see if it works. I liked, Samaya, we were struggling rebounding a little bit, and Samaya was one of our best rebounders. So, putting our two, that's honestly what it was. We put our two best rebounders into the lineup, in Samaya and Kayla. And it was more so less about India, more about the rebounding.
And you mentioned Samaya, you beat me to it, 11 rebounds. Again, she doesn't fill up the basket, but she's doing the things that you need Samaya Turner to do to win a game. And then she's another one who has taken a different role than it was last year, and she's just taken off with flying colors still.
She's willing to do whatever it takes to win. She has so much energy. She's just a ball of joy when she plays out there. She refuses to lose, and our team feeds off of her energy. And
Talia Shepard, she's continued to have double-digit scoring nights as well, 10 points for her in the win over Campbell. She gets to the line so well. She's another one who defensively, offensively, attack, take a jumper, take a mid-range jumper to beat Morgan. She'll do whatever it takes, it seems, as well.
Yeah, T is fearless. She plays with a high level of intensity and aggression. And I think, again, another person our team really feeds off of.
I want to take a step back because I forgot to bring this up with India. And because we were talking about it on the broadcast. Have you ever encountered a player who is so adept at taking a three-pointer, drawing the foul, and still making the three? We have seen that countless times from India, at least the last 2 years. And now I think she did it twice last game.
For sure. It's almost... When India shoots it, we all expect it to going in, and I think just her shot mechanics where she does kick her leg a little bit, but it's not intentional. That's just her shot form. So she's going through her whole shot routine, and when she does that, most times it goes in.
On the flip side of things, Zoli and Tilly both struggling a little bit. What do you say to them? What do you do for them to try to help them get the shot falling? But at the same time, they're getting picked up by their teammates.
Of course. I think any team that you have four players in double figures like ours, it's not always going to be the other person's best night. And I think they're not doing anything negatively. I think we need them. They bring a lot of positive sparks to every single game. I don't really look at slumps or really use words like that. I just think it's a long season. And there's another opportunity on Friday for them to get back going.
All right, let's talk about Friday. We are in full swing now for CAA play. You start off up on Long Island against Hofstra at 6. The Pride, 3-10 overall, 1-1. In conference play. They're coming off a win over UNCW. They average just 54 points a game. You kind of look at their schedule. It's a lot like Morgan. They're in a lot of games. You take out some of those outliers. They're in a lot of games. They're going to fight. They're going to scrap. How do you prepare for a tough Hofstra team?
Of course. If I had to guess, I think I've seen it before, their opponent net is the highest in the conference, Hofstra is. So they are battle tested, and I don't think that their record is reflective of how talented of a team that they are. So they do things that we're challenged on. They're very aggressive, an extremely aggressive rebounding team. They play inside. Sometimes they play too big. So it's going to be a battle up there.
Chloe Sterling, the leading scorer for them. Does anything jump out from her that you see on tape?
She's just an all-around scorer. You know, she can get to the rim. She has a pull-up. She can shoot the three. I think we've now seen her now for more than this isn't her first year. I remember her last year, and I think she's just overall aggressive.
And then you return home Sunday at 1 o'clock against UNCW, 5-8, 1-1 in the conference as well. They're coming off that loss to Hofstra. They'll play Monmouth before you get a chance to face them here in CQ. Kind of like you, they have 4 scorers who can all score double digits any night. So do you kind of look at yourselves like, oh, here's how I would attack us, and when you look at UNCW?
Yeah, so, you know, similarly, they've played a challenging schedule. They definitely have some really talented scorers as well. They play a little bit of zone. I think what we're seeing in conference on any given night, anyone can win. So I like to try to focus us on what can they do that would exploit us. I'm really trying to flip it on what do we need to do. And day in and day out, we try to focus on those things.
When you look at, these 2 games coming up that they could be, and the CAA in general is going to be like this, where it's going to be tough games, hard-fought games, battles every night, and then you look at your non-conference, Lehigh, Loyola, UMES, games that prepared you to play in these tight games. What do you hope the team took away from that non-conference slate?
I think the game situations are really, really important. Also, us just staying poised under pressure and learning. I think we learned a lot from that Loyola game, and we're a different team than we were, back in December, the beginning of December, to where we are now. So I think it's just the growth and the process of us improving.
All right, Coach, thanks for joining us, and good luck this weekend.
Thank you so much.
All right, the Tigers play 2 this weekend, first on the road on Friday up at Hofstra, and then return home Sunday at 1 o'clock here inside CQ Arena against UNCW. Joe Matthews and I will have the call if you can't make it out to CQ. For the head coach, Laura Harper, I'm Ben Rosenbaum. Thanks for joining us, and as always, go Tigers.
Go Tigers.